What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to my page here, out here on the internet, wherever you may be. I have no idea us. I don't take it lightly because you could have been anywhere, but you decided you want to come over here and spend some time with me. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Let me know what city, what state, what country. If this is your first time or whatever time it is, my name is Greg Napier, and I'm coming to you from the great state of Ohio, the city of Columbus, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I am proud to say that I'm a Buckeye fan through and through. You may not like the Buckeyes. That's okay. You get to choose whatever team you like best. It's a beautiful day. But I like the Buckeyes. I actually love the Buckeyes. I'm looking forward to going to some games this year. This past weekend, my wife and we spent some time with some family and some friends. We actually went to the Ohio State Fair twice this year. I mean, then I found out that one of my friends, his aunt, she's 95 years old, and she actually went 3 days in a row. And I was like, "Oh, she beat me to the punch." So she set the bar high. She set the bar high. So I'm like, okay, so I gotta get my act together because I really like the fair. My wife and I, we like to go up there and we like to, find our spot, get the food, sit down, and do what we like to do best is people watch. And I'm telling you, when you can find and learn a lot of things about people from just sitting back and watching, because it's a lot of moving parts and a lot of developments going on, because people are moving in all different types of directions. You got kids, old people, young people, black, white, Hispanic, this all over, just everything. It's a melting pot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So it is in and so before I get into the topic, and the topic is time freedom is the real currency. Because when you have time freedom, you have everything. You got time to do whatever you want to do. You have time to participate in the things you want to do. I was telling my wife today, I said, what good does it do you to acquire the money and not be able to enjoy the money? See, because a lot of people out here, they'll work 30, 40 years on their job. They may go on vacations here and there, and then you retire, and then you don't know what to do. You try to figure out, how do I do it? Then you don't have any freedom because you haven't taken time out to say, hey, I probably should have been acquiring some hobbies while I was working. So now you don't really have time freedom. You think you do, but you really don't, because you haven't figured out what to do with your time. That's the currency. That's the real currency. You think it's money. Now you can have the money, but if you don't know what to do, then what do? Then you wasting time. Let me get a sip of my water. And I like some cold water, refreshing. It's very refreshing. So I know that a lot of people want time. They want freedom to do the things that they want to be able to do. And I can assure you that if you plan correctly and you do the things that you're supposed to do at an early age. And I was telling my wife this earlier. I said I was a complete fool when it came to money in the beginning years. When I first went to the postal service, I was 26. I was 26 and I had no idea what to do with money. I didn't have any financial people telling me, hey, you need to do this with your money. So 20, 30 years down the road, you'll be able to do this. So the Postal Service had this retirement plan, and I stuck my money in there because I knew I was gonna be loose and fancy free with the money, but I didn't want to lose out when I got older and not have any money. And I still kind of squandered that money. But I was able to meet some people along the way, and I met a very good mentor that was very keen on finances. He's down in Atlanta, Georgia, and he showed me a lot of stuff on how to become financially free and get my life back and get my time back. So whenever I go somewhere, I don't have to be concerned with how much money I spend, how long I'm gonna be there. None of that. I'm not counting pennies. I'm not counting, trying to figure out, man, how do I do this? I'm able to go places and do things and not be concerned with are my bills gonna get paid? And I'm in retirement, and I've been retired for 15 years. But again, time freedom is the real currency. You just don't know it because you got time to do whatever you want, but you have to have the money in order to do that. Now, there's a group that I belong to that we read something that's called a Freedom Crusaders Manifesto, and we read this every day, or we someone reads it every day, and I just wanted to take time to read it here for you so you can get an idea of how time freedom is the real currency, and maybe you may take something from this. And if you want to get a copy of this, or you want to understand some of the books that we're reading, some of the things that we're doing, and you can get a copy of all of this for free. Yeah, you can get it all for free, and I'll put the site up later on throughout there, somewhere in this broadcast, so you can get it. So it's basically the mission is freedom through principle centered leadership. I have a definite purpose to become financially free with self confidence to back it up. I believe in myself and in those around me, seizing every opportunity I can to practice initiative and leadership in providing service to others. I use my imagination to visualize my purpose and craft plans for its attainment. I mix enthusiasm with my work because enthusiasm is the force that energizes my body, my mind, and my soul. I fill my heart with sincere gratitude each day. I exercise self control to guide my actions with patience and discipline. I temper my desires by choosing to live within my means so I can save money, eliminate debt, and buy income producing assets. I render more service than I am paid. I know that in so doing, infinite intelligence will return even more in due time. I have a pleasing personality that is both genuine and sincere. I am an accurate thinker. An accurate thinker. I know that accurate thought is based on facts and not upon hearsay or random information. I concentrate by giving my undivided attention to but one task at a time. And I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna tell you there's a book that I read. It's by Gary Keller called The One Thing. I highly recommend you get that book. It's a very great book. The One Thing by Gary Keller. I cooperate and mastermind harmoniously with others. I always practice tolerance when dealing with others. I make the golden rule the foundation of all that I do that affects other people. I know that the long cut is the only real shortcut. You got to look at the long game, not short term game. Long term, think long term. And I commit to putting in the time, gaining knowledge, and doing the work required to earn my just reward. As a promoter, I produce meaningful, hype free marketing that matters. I believe the stairwell designed by the architect of the universe is leading somewhere great, and I strive to make my choices from this grand perspective. I seek to align myself with companies, products, missions, movements, and organizations firmly in alignment with these principles while avoiding those who are not. See, I'm avoiding people as negative Susies and negative Sallys and negative Henrys and all of that. And I say this all the time, if you hang around with 5 negative people, you'll become number 6. I will be the change I wish to see in the world. And even after I have obtained my freedom, I will continue to assist other crusaders on the path. If you want a copy of that, you can get it. You can get that copy. And I'll share the website with you where you can get it. You can go over there and click on. When you go over to the site, just click on Grow Rich Mastermind Collections. Grow Rich Mastermind Collections. But it'll be there when you go over to the site. It stands out. And all you have to do is just put your name and email in there, and it'll be sent to you. No, it ain't gonna cost you a dime. And you'll get it, and you'll be able to start practicing this thing. Because time freedom is real. It's real. It's allowing me to do the one thing that I really love and desire to do, and that's I love dogs. And I have two, and possibly I'll be getting a third one once we find out that my male got the other female pregnant up in Indiana. Once I find that out, then now I'm going to get a puppy from that litter, and then I'll have three because I love dogs. But time freedom allows me to do those things. It allows me to spend more time with my wife. It allows us to go on trips and not be concerned with when we got to come back, how much money we're gonna spend. I mean, it costs a pretty penny when you go to the fair. I don't know about the fair in your neighborhood, but it costs quite a few coins. But we weren't up there complaining, and we actually went two times. We went on a Friday, we went on a Sunday. But next year we're going three times, maybe even possibly four, because we had a great time. We went to the Rib Fest prior to that. We went down there twice. Yes, this past weekend we went somewhere Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to pick up our baby, which is his name is Shaka, up in Indiana. We're gonna probably stay overnight up there, or we might come back the same day. I don't know. I'm scheduled to go on a trip to Charlotte, North Carolina, in November. I'm going to the Corn Festival at the end of this month. If I didn't have the freedom or the money to do that, I couldn't do it. I'd be up here counting pennies. Now there was a time when I had to do that. And that's the reason why I'm sharing this with you. So it's so important when you come out here. See, people want to come online, they want to make money, and they listen to these so-called gurus talking about how I can show you how to make $10,000 a month. They're making all these income claims. What if I could show you how to make as much money as you're making on your job? Because if I ask the question to at least 10 people that are working, are you making $10,000 a month on your job? Because I asked that question. And every time I asked it, they tell me no. As much money as I was making for the Postal Service, the most I ever made in a paycheck, take home net. And if you don't know the difference between net and gross, then maybe you probably need a class in that. But I'm not going to insult your intelligence, and I'm going to assume that you know the difference between net and gross. I'm going to definitely assume that. So here's the deal. Every year around December, the Postal Service would let us work the whole entire month. No day off. You get it's Christmas time. You just open up the vault and let you go. So I brought home a check that month for $3,000. But I'm going to tell you, I was very, 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 very tired. Can you imagine working 30 days, 31 days, and you get $3,000? And I'm talking working 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours a day. And my check was 3 grand. So most I ever made in 20, 25 years I worked at the Postal Service. Take home. Some people made a little bit more than that, but you got to put your life into that, and your back will be hurting you. So if you've never made even close to that, why wouldn't you just be realistic and know, hey, maybe if I can just make half of that, or maybe if I could just make a third of that, or maybe if I can just make enough money to pay my car note and my rent, how would that look like on a consistent basis? Now that's realistic and that's possible, but you have to take baby steps. You have to take baby steps. When I first came on the internet 15 years ago, I didn't even realize that you could make money. When I made my first dollar on the internet, I was shocked. I was like, really? People were actually making money on the internet? I had no idea that people were making money on a device like this, talking to people all over. And I was in this program, and the program is still there. I'm just not a part of that program. And I had customers all over the world. Yeah. And I was making money in that. I was making money in that system. Yes. I was making money. And then I joined a company later on, and I was making a lot of money in that company, but I was putting in a lot of work. As a matter of fact, I was putting as much money, much work into that company as I was working my job. And I was like, whoo, this is like a job. I was making money. I did so well in that company. Not only did I earn a vehicle, I helped 5 other people earn vehicles. I thought that was a great accomplishment. I was traveling all over the United States. I was sporting that car. The company was paying for the car, but it was off my efforts. I had never done that before. I didn't even know that that was possible. I'm saying all that to say that money can be made online, but you just you can't be listening to these people giving all these income claims, because the FTC is going to come in. That's the Federal Trade Commission will come in and say, hey, you can't do that. You can't be promising people they can make this kind of money. No, I can guarantee you can make some money, maybe, but I don't know what your work ethic is. And I'll talk about that probably in a video coming up in later weeks. Yeah, may talk about what is your right. And here's the thing: I have so much information to share, and I want to help people. So I decided that when I'm coming out here doing these live, and whether you're watching me live or you're watching me on the recording, and I never know. Somebody might come in live, somebody might come in on the recording, and it's all good. But here's what I know: if you want time freedom and you understand that that's the real currency, you'll start working at this thing, and you'll do this thing step by step, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, and then you'll draw up a plan. See, you have to have a plan in order to succeed to the next level. If you don't have a plan, then you're not going to succeed. And I'm gonna be talking about things like that, but I'm gonna actually be not only I'm telling you about it, I'm gonna show you where you can go, where you can get a lot of resources, because you can get a lot of free resources. See, because there's two things you can do to get time freedom. You can either pay for it with your money, or you can pay for it with your time. Or if you got money, you can do a little of both. When I first came out on the internet, I didn't even know that you needed to have a budget. So I had to do a lot of free stuff. And I did a lot of free stuff for a few years. Now I do a combination of both, free and paid. But I had to work myself up to that. I was talking to a gentleman just today, and he was saying, "You seem to be very proficient at this internet thing." I said, "I may make it look that way, but let me explain to you about the backstory." And when I say about the backstory, I'm saying all the work that I had to do in the background. And I told him there's one thing that I'll never stop doing is I will always constantly be a learner. That's why the manifesto says I will be the change I wish to see in the world. And even after I obtain my freedom, which I have, or I have time freedom for real. Like literally, I can do whatever I want, go wherever I want, anytime I want. And I'm not bragging to you, and I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you that when you put in the work, you can also have time freedom as well. I just wanted I don't I didn't want to take up a whole bunch of your time, because I know it's in the evening time, and most people on a day like today, which is Wednesday, they call this hump day. It's like in the middle of the week. See, every day is a holiday to me. Every day is a vacation to me. I don't look at it as vacation. I look at it as they call them vacation days. I call them freedom days. See, while you calling them vacation days, which ain't nothing wrong with a job, I promise you, jobs are great. I would never, and I used to make the mistake of coming out here talking about job is just over broke. That's foolishness. I know that now, but I didn't know that then when I was listening to these so-called gurus. Ain't nothing wrong with a job. A job is great. but there's nothing better than time freedom. And you can get that even when you're working. There are some people I know right now to this day that have time freedom and they work in a full-time job. And you probably say, well, how do they do that, Greg? They had to go to their job. Yeah, they do. But they can still go. See, time freedom don't have a whole lot to do with don't have nothing hardly nothing to do with the fact that you got to go to work. It has a fact to do with all your bills paid. Now that money is freed up to do the things that you want to do, not that you have to do. That's time freedom. Doing what you want to do, not what you have to do. See, I love dogs, so that costs money. And we feed our dogs raw. And if you don't, I may do a video about that one of these days. I'm not sure. I got one out on YouTube, and I can easily repurpose that and show it to you. But we go out and get chicken, ground beef, things that dogs eat in the wild in their natural habitat. We buy that and grind it. We invested the money, bought the grinder, bought the sealer that you seal them up, bought the bags, and we produce the food. It changed their life. Yeah, they love it. They love it. But how can I do that if I didn't have time? If I didn't have time freedom, because I got to have the money to do it, and I got to have the time to do it, and I'm doing something that I want to do. You have to figure out what it is that you would love to do. If money wasn't was the object, what would you do? What hobby would you like to do? Sit down and write a list of things that you really like to do from 1 to 10, and pick the best thing that you like on that list, and just go after it. Go after it. Go after it. Make it a priority that I'm going to do this. You like that. You love this. I love dogs. And so that's what I do. And I love them. I understand them. I like this particular breed that I have. Yes. So that's how you get time freedom. Being able to do what you want, when you want, and how long you want to do it. Yes, not being concerned, is my mortgage going to get paid, or my car note's going to get paid? Am I going to have food in the refrigerator? We don't have any of those worries. You know why? Because time freedom is the real currency. Now I want to show you, because I'm closing up right here. So I want to show you where you can go to this website right here. Go to this website right here. Go to gregsaid.com and just click on Grow Rich Mastermind Collection. Go there, click on Grow Rich Mastermind, and then put your information in, and you will get that information. You'll get access to the whole vault. Yeah, you'll get access to a myriad of stuff that people have to pay thousands of dollars to get, and you're getting it. And you're probably saying, well, if people was paying thousands of dollars for it, why am I able to get it for free? Because that's the community that I belong to. Because the majority of them have time freedom. That's why when you read this Freedom Crusaders manifesto, time freedom through principle-centered leadership. I want to say, listen, let me know where you're chiming in from, city and state. Give me some hearts, give me some love. Share this out with your friends, your family, your coworker, whoever you think may benefit and want some time freedom. You know, so I know I wanted it, and I was willing to do whatever it took, morally and ethically, to receive time freedom. I can't tell you how good that feels to be able to get up when I want to get up, go to bed when I want to go, eat whatever I want, where I want, and I don't have to be concerned with what the price is. I get what I want. That wasn't always the case. I'm still humble. I'm still that young kid that came from Chattanooga, Tennessee, in the projects, product of a single parent. But I wanted more out of life. So in order to get more out of life, I had to put the work in. So I put the work in. I had a lot of stumbling blocks along the way, but I didn't give up. One of my favorite quotes, and you'll hear me say it all the time, by the greatest salesman that ever lived, Og Mandino. I will persist until I succeed. Man, you won't outwork me, and I ain't giving up. That's been my mantra my whole entire life. Les Brown coined it. He says, you got to be hungry. I'm hungry every day. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. Yes. So when you hungry and thirsty, you hunt. So when you ever heard that dog won't hunt, but that ain't my story. This dog will hunt. This dog hunts. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. So God bless you. God keep you. You deserve to have a time freedom lifestyle. But you know the only way you're going to get it? You got to get up, get out, and get to it. I'll see you on the next live, my friends.